Audio interface is a piece of gear that you'll need the moment you move on from USB microphones. And in this video, I want to have a look at my audio interface, Audient iD4. Hi, it's Mike from Casefile and Casefile Presents. On this channel, I'm releasing videos on podcasting and audio production. If you enjoy the content, you can hit the like button. So what is an audio interface? Well, if you put it in the most simplest terms, it's an external audio card that lets you connect the microphone, that lets you monitor your recording, that lets you to record, produce, and listen to whatever you record. When you move on from USB microphones, you will need audio interface to connect a new microphone like this one and then power it. And that's where audio interface comes in. There are many types of audio interfaces out there, from cheap to really expensive ones. In this video, I want to focus on the one that I've been using for a couple of years now, Audient iD4. Now, in the past, I had Focusrite Sapphire 24 DSP, which was a Firewire audio interface, but it kind of broke down on me. Also, I wanted to move on to an USB audio interface. I then discovered Audient iD range. Audient is a well-known British company. They are known for their consoles and preamps, and there were a couple of mixing consoles at the college that I was studying years ago, so I was already familiar with the brand. I was looking for an interface that would sort of serve me with my stereo setup, and I didn't need that many inputs. I knew that I will not be having big recording sessions in my studio. I looked at Audient audio interfaces and decided on iD4, which is their smallest one. It has two inputs, one XLR and one direct input, a 1/4-inch jack, that's for guitars or instruments. And then you got gain for both. You also have volume and monitor knobs. And at the back of the audio interface, you can find a button for phantom power, and a little LED light sort of lights up, and when you switch it on. And you also have output for stereo monitoring, and that's where my Adam studio monitors are connected to. At the front, we've got output for two different sets of headphones, which is great because it allows me to, quickly change the set without plugging and unplugging them. And we also got a mute button, which mutes the speakers when you want to monitor and listen on headphones. The preamps are really nice, transparent, really nice sounding. But then that could be said for a lot of audio interfaces, right? The outputs, the XLRs, the preamps. So what did push me over to Audient? The wheel and the iD technology. Now let me explain. The big wheel at the top lets you control the output, the volume, that's clear. Then when you press it, it dims the audio. It's like a pad, and it dims it by about 15 dB. However, when you press the iD button, then you can use the wheel to control any parameter within your audio sequencer, whatever you want. Let me show you how it works, so explain it a little bit better. How Audient iD4 wheel works is, first, you've got to press the iD button on the interface, which I've done now, sort of yellowish color there. Then you go into whatever plugin you want, let's say EQ, select any kind of processing, and then as we start moving the wheel, it moves the actual option. So let's say knee, I can control it there. ratio. There we go. So what I used to do was I used to write automation with it. How I would do it is I would use the I think it was a trim module, so kind of a gain there, and then for the automation I would use the trim. Sorry, you've got to add it there, of course. I would use the trim gain, and then of course large. How we let me mute all of it. We go onto large, and then there we go. When I hover the mouse over it and then move the wheel on Audient, I could write the automation. And what that gives you is the option to at least start using these physical knobs, physical faders, before you invest in a proper mixing control surface. And it's a great step for anyone who wants and needs audio interface and wants to dabble in sort of physical mixing as well. When I was learning the ropes and case file was growing, I wrote the automation with mouse and keyboard, and I knew I wanted something a little bit more physical, but I knew I had to take baby steps. Also, I didn't have any money to buy a proper control surface. The wheel was the best tool at that stage. It let me control the volume automation of the score, of dialogues, whatever I wanted. It wasn't ideal, it was just one wheel, but still, it was a great tool for that time being, until I actually was able to get myself a proper mixing control surface. On top of that, the interface is not expensive. It's only just above £100 or something like that, so not outrageous. And if you do need more outputs or inputs, then you can get the, bigger ones above the ID4. That's the smallest one. Also, that was the first version of their audio interface. They now have the new ones and they look much sleeker than what I got, and there's also a darker shade which looks really, really cool. So I do recommend it for podcasters who are looking into moving onto normal microphones and looking at a good audio interface that won't break a bank. Let me know what kind of audio interfaces you're using, maybe using Audient as well, and if so, what do you think of it? But that's it for today. I'm Mike Migas. If you enjoyed this video, you can check the rest of my channel or my website, mikemigas.com. For now, you can share, you can like, you can subscribe, and I'll see you later.